Hi all, Hal here and more space engineers, and we've been doing a little bit of off-camera work. Just a little bit at least. So we'll walk you through the changes, talk about what's going on and what the plans are moving forward going into next week. Alright, so we have to get started, so let's go. So, happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic week and you're setting up for a even better weekend. So we've been busy. We have been really busy. So we have put in a shield controller and we've built that up completely. We have our shield emitter, which I think we started last time. I think that was in Wednesday's episode. We had started working on this. Basically, we have gotten everything we need except for 551 shield emitters. Now, I have been like just ridiculously harvesting stuff. Let's go here. As you can see, we have a bit of a backlog on the platinum. Move all this over. Looks like we've gone through the rest of it. Oh, we've gone through a lot of it. Get that out of there. We're gonna go over here and there we go. How many can we carry? So up to 482, 551. Oh, look at you. Okay. And it unlocked new blocks. What did it unlock? I'm not even sure what the hell that unlocks. Alright, so we were able to unlock this, which we built. We built the controller. We actually had built the shield controller before, so that we could unlock these previously. So we can now use shield air pressurizers and shield modulators. Interesting. Let's come over here really quick. Hey, now that the shield is built, we have some new options here. Power scale disable. We're gonna have to play with that. Alright, so shield sizes. According to that, it's 30 by 30. Alright, so we need that to be, I don't know, something like, because that's 30, another like 15 and 25. So if that's 30, so let's try 150. Not quite sure how well this is going to work. So we want this to be width, height, and depth. Let's go. Wow, that was way too much. Okay. Let's go 150 and see how that works. Ow. Which way did that go? Okay, so that's set up as width. Is that going to get everything? So we should be able to get away with, I don't know, like 100? Because we want it to just basically encase the base. We're not really wanting it to do too much in the way of the rest of the area around it. Alright, so if that's that, shield width, let's go 150 for you. Almost enough to get the entire thing. So let's go 120. You know what? Let's go 200 on that one, and then height will be, I don't know, maybe 100. Ow! Just throw myself at the ground, right? Okay. So now we're gonna go We said what, 200? And shield height, we'll do 100. How's that? That is pretty damn good, I think. And that leaves some of our defenses inside the shield, some of our defenses outside the shield, which is fine. Alright. And I don't have a whole lot of hydrogen left, so let's go refill all of that. Okay. So yeah, like I said, basically we've been doing a lot of off-camera work. Now that we have shields in place, I mean, I guess I could just go ahead and extend it out. Because, I mean, that is really close. Actually, it just needs to, that's definitely long enough. I just need to increase that by, I don't know, 10 meters? Do the width out by 10 more meters? Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so what we've done is we have another building system here. Well, we've got a, I don't know, I guess you could say an experimental platform. We're going to be building a new ship. So this is what we're going to be working on today. I'll probably weld it up over the weekend, and then on Monday we'll come back and continue it. But I'm going to do something a little bit different with the way that we're going to build this one. And I'll walk you through that shortly, but as you can see, we do have the landing pad. I went ahead and filled in some of the space between the two. So we now have a small utility craft docking area. I haven't decided if I'm going to pipe these in, and I think I'm going to. Which will mean that I'll need to move the ship, but yeah. And what we'll do is, I do think we're going to pipe this in. Mainly because of the fact that it gives me a place to dock the small utility craft without having to dock them to the larger ship. But we're going to leave the docks on the larger ship just for a little bit of flexibility. Now, I'm still undecided on whether or not I want to basically mirror what we have over there over here. Because if I do, what that would translate into is something along these lines, where we say we bring that over and flip that around like so. Now what we're going to do here is that we would, let's see, I did 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, they're different widths. Interesting. This is, I think, 7 wide. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it is actually, that's correct. Okay. So it is the same width. All right. Well, that's convenient. Okay, so we're gonna drop one here. And I do not want you all
energy low
to be non-gray. See, having these be the white texture is fine. Actually, we want so I think I did that off of 7. So it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and I'll come back and I'll excavate all of this out so that we can get it all piped in. And one of the benefits of piping the central area in is that it would give me a little bit more, it would make it a little easier to run piping over to this thing if we decide to. I'm just not sure how I want to do that yet. Alright, so that's basically what we did to get all of this in here before. Now, we did go ahead and add in the, was it in easy inventory? Sorry, a little distracted here. Okay. Alright. I will finish that up off camera. I'm not too worried about it. Just to give you an idea what we did and how we did it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? You just put down a block and you keep building from it. Alright, so what we're going to do with these like little arms here is eventually I'll come in and I'll put the walkway blocks in. And that way we have railings on either side, just to give us a way to get back across on here. And then I wanted to have it set up so that if you were coming over, you'd be able to come straight over here, directly up under the ship. Yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of nice. I'm not sold on the idea. I may take that setup out and just continue it over, make this a full solid area. The other option is to have habitation down here. And I thought about doing this. Basically, we would have an airlock on either end with, you know, say this being the level that it's at. And then we would have a, because, you know, we've cut this little ramp area in over here. Basically do the same thing over here, where we would go, that one. Let's see here, go and latch all that together. And then what we end up with is something like this. Oh, before I forget, let me let me recharge really quick. that was almost comically bad. So yeah. All right. So that's enough of a charge for right now. Okay. Now, like I said, what I'm contemplating here is, because of the fact that we have so much set up already, I don't really have a habitation area built out, which is something that, I don't know, it just never really sits well with me. Don't really need that much space. And so what I'm kind of wanting to do is to have just like a barracks area set up. Because they gave us these really nice airtight bedroom blocks. So I'm thinking we might just... Oh, I need interior plates for these, really? Look, enough to pick up 8. Okay. So what I'm thinking is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we do, let's see, doorway. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do another set over here. So then we have say something like this. And oh, you know what we could do? We could actually use the straight up airlock block, because we do have the passageway mod. So if we do that, That would be like so. Interior plates. I need 1, 2, and a couple of interior plates. Let's grab those. And how many more did we say we need? 2? We'll grab 3 just in case. Because you never know. So we're gonna grab those. And like I said, we're going to be piping in air down here anyway, so what I may do is I may, because we have the line already running in there, I might just bring it up in this way. So if we do, say something like no, I don't want block. So we'd have to do it this way. And then if we go like that, should work, right? Oh, now you know what we can do. So instead of that, we do the... see, if we do the airlock in one block, then you can... look at you. See?
Energy low.
With that, then you come down, you don't have to worry about any of the other shenanigans. See? Kind of liking the way this is going to work out here. Now the question I have on this side is, do we have to go with that block? Or can we get away with these? Well, that might work. And I didn't want to turn this into just a straight up base building episode, but we may end up doing just a little bit of that. Alright, so we want the airlock. And we need plates. We've got it making a whole lot of plates. Alright. Alright, that gets us here. Let's go ahead and load up all of this. Just so we can get some of this stuff a little bit more airtight.
Energy critical.
I know I'm running around with the welder while I'm probably should be going back and getting charged up here a little bit. I'm kind of liking the way that's looking, actually. I might take this block out. Haven't decided yet. Get this folded up really quick.
No energy.
Oh, that's bad. Quick. Okay, let's get some health back here, or some energy back. Alright, so that gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. Alright, so what I'm thinking about, and this I'll tell you right now, this episode's obviously going to go a little bit longer than normal. We're already 20 minutes in. So... Oh, so what I'll do is I'll finish that portion up. I'll finish the little base area up off camera. I'm thinking we're going to end up putting windows in between each of the... Oh, no, you know what we could do? Oh, we have... Do we have lockers? We do have lockers. We put an armory in at the end. What do you require? Your interior plates. And lockers. Yeah, maybe. And toilet. You know, because we have to have a toilet in here somewhere, right? So if we do that, so we have a toilet there. Is there a shower? I don't remember if there's a shower. No, it's just the toilet. Alright, so we have an armory block. Basically, I'm just looking at the new blocks here. We have a kitchenette. We could put a kitchen in somewhere. I don't know. See, because what I was thinking is that I don't know if I want to do this.
Meteor storm inbound.
Where we basically have an armory next to each of the bunks. Or do I want to put a locker in? I think I'm gonna put the locker in. I think I like that a little bit better. Yeah. I think that... Look at that. And then what I'll do with this, I think, is we'll leave... I don't know, do we want to leave that open and put a light... leave a window in there? That could be something. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to turn this into just a... straight up, let's turn off auto rotate. Yeah, see? Alright, so what I'm thinking is that if we do the lockers all the way down, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do that on both sides. Let's turn a light on in here. We'll put lights in probably here-ish. Might put one like in front of each of the beds. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that. But I'm thinking put windows in so that you get the natural light in here as well. So during the day, you get the natural light in through everything. Because if you're in the bed, you know, you can look out and have the light there. You have a window over here. I'm kind of liking this idea. Alright, so what I'll do is I will come back through off camera, weld up the rest of this stuff, like the lockers and everything, try putting some windows in, and if I don't like the way that works, we'll take the windows out and put the just half blocks all the way down. Might work. Anyway, okay, so that gets us a place to habitate. Oh, I'm gonna need to pipe in oxygen in there somewhere too. I might just put an O2 generator straight in. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Alright, so let's talk about the new ship. Let's make sure I actually have plates. I do have some. We're going to go ahead and throw all these in there. Let's go ahead and drop cargo, hide the empty. We want you. Throw all this in here really quick. So we're going to grab like 500 of those, 200 of those. Okay. So this thing is one block east of center. So the center is actually right here for the landing pad. Now I did that so that we basically would have the entire thing supported off the central pillar so that it's connected everywhere. Not that it's really necessary at this point, but wanted to make sure that, you know, it would be useful or usable in the case that something does get through the shields. Always possible, not necessarily likely. Now, what I've done is, if you remember before, we were using the merge block to get things level for us. We're going to continue that because this is going to be a large grid build. Now, we're going to do things a little bit differently for this one. So, I have an idea of the rough general shape that I want things to be. Because we're going to build a ship to basically replace the one that we have here. What that is going to mean is that we're basically going to take something similar in design to what we have here, scale it up just a little bit, because one of the things that we run into with this ship is that in order to really do certain things, we have to have a base somewhere. Well, I'm getting to the point now where we're talking about heading over that way to the Earth-like planet. And that's a couple 100 kilometers away. You know, even our lunar base is 105 kilometer. So we're talking about getting to the point where we're going to be doing 2 or even 3 times that distance, maybe more, because I think that is actually bigger than the Mars. I think that's like twice the size of the Mars planet, which would mean it's going to be about 3 times the distance from here. It's probably about 350 kilometers or so. I'd have to check to see what the latest positioning has it at. But that's yeah. So what we want is, I want to have a base, something that I can take and have an actual base that we take with us. But I also want to, I kind of like the way that the lifter worked out. Our little cargo lifter over here. So I want to build something that's kind of a combination of these two. Now, this is going to be tricky because of the fact that I want to have something that I can deploy and then and basically drop a full base somewhere, you know, or at least a proto base somewhere that we can then convert to a station. But we still need to be able to get into and out of the ship. So what we'll have to do is have some temporary structure connecting the two, that when you're ready to deploy, you just grind one block, separate merge blocks, and it'll leave a base there for you. which means we're going to have to build that thing big enough to basically encompass something like that thing. Oh, so this is going to be a rather massive build. So what we're planning is I want to have at least 2 refineries, preferably 4 refineries if we can figure out a way to do this logically. We'll also need 2 large cargo and 4 assemblers. Generally speaking, I tend to try to run 1 assembler per refinery on average. There are times that I will change that ratio, especially if we're talking about like platinum refining. Then I'll run usually 2 or even 4 refineries for every 1 assembler. But again, that's only when we're dealing with platinum-based stuff, because platinum requires so much bloody refining. All right. So this is going to be our first inner block. The block directly below it will be our first armor tier. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because I want to build... We're going to build from the inside out, and then we'll skin the entire thing once it's done. So if this is going to basically be a level that we would be walking on... Bring this over a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I want to figure out is how am I getting into the ship? Because if we have a landing gear, let's grab this. We're gonna... So if we put a landing gear on this thing, that's 3 blocks tall. I'm going to put that for reference. We need a way of getting up into the ship. I'm thinking ladders. Alright, so if we do that... That's gonna get us... That's only 2 blocks tall. I keep thinking those are 3 blocks tall for some reason. Alright, so like I said, this is just kind of a placeholder. Alright. And it's just to put it back on there. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we're going to have a ladder someplace. Now, because of the way the ladders work, if the ladder is on this face, when you get to the top of the ladder, the animation will try to put you on top of the block that the ladder is on. Right? So if there was a ladder on this face, it would try to drop me off here when I get to the top of it. Which means in order for us to have any type of entry into the ship, we're going to have an open block before we put in like an airlock or anything else. That was part of the thing that I ran into when I redesigned our general purpose carrier there. I took out the hangar door that we were using for the entrance area.
Storm inbound.
And I put in the airlock door, where I put in a door. And what happens is you kind of get caught on the block when you're trying to get into the ship. Let's see if we can bait these away. Of course, we do have the shield, so I'm not... okay, it's landing over there. I'm not too worried about it. One of them got within range. Nope. Alright, so that one hit. Kind of curious. Did you bring me uranium? I've had a couple of these bringing me uranium lately. No, you brought me iron. Okay. Not worried about you. I do like having the shield. It makes me feel better. Okay. I know the shield's not going to take much. It might take like 1 or 2 asteroid or meteors, but hey, it's 1 or 2 meteors that I don't have to worry about. All right, so yeah, we were talking about getting into the ship. So I'm thinking I kind of want to keep. I kind of like the traditional sci-fi idea of a ship where you have a narrow front that or a wide back that tapers into a narrow front. But it's not necessary for this because it's going to be a base, but we want to be able to control the base, or we want to be able to control the ship from inside the base. I mean, we could just have it set up so it uses something like that where it leaves it in orbit. You basically have a remote control block on it. Ooh, that could be something. Alright. So if we're building a base, what do we need? We need refineries, we need storage, we need assemblers. We need... Technically, I know the game doesn't require you to have habitation, but it's nice to have it. We will need a medical facility. So it's pretty straightforward as far as what the actual requirements are. And if we're doing an armor layer...
Low.
So let's go full refinery. If we go something like that, and we take you out, put you in. Really? Yep, there we go. So if we do something like that, we could do assemblers here, or do I want to flip it? See, I'm trying to figure out how I want this to sit, because when we get the upgrade modules in, you know, I want to have it set up so we can greeble it a little bit, but I want some of this to take. I want this to take some of the greebling aspect, because the soonest we'd be able to make this airtight would be 1 block here. Let's go. Let's keep the build mostly vanilla. So this would be the earliest we'd be able to airtight it because of these, which is fine. Also means we could just do ladders until this thing was on the planet. I mean, we could even just...
Energy critical.
Because what I'm thinking here is if we basically build this so that we're doing, I don't know, let's say like this. Just as an example, these are going to get ground out of here, so don't freak out too much. Right. So if we said that that was where we were going to end up, we could then do something like this. And have that be
Fuel low.
basically have something like this, and we go if we do something like that as an entranceway.
No
That might work.
energy. Fuel critical.
Yeah. How's that for timing? Okay. Let's see here. Let's go this way really quick. Alright, so that should give you at least the basic idea of what we're looking at right now. Gets the really basic stuff out of the way. We're going to go in here so while we're recharging, so we can multitask. Let's go ahead and drop all this in here. See how fast that is? That's the nice thing about cryopods. Alright, so if we do something like that, we can then take these. Let's go ahead and grab you out of there. Let's see here. If I remember correctly, you should be the connection. And you're going to be the connection, and you're going to be the connection. I think, right? I can never remember which one's which. I think that's right. We'll know when we weld one of these things up really quick. So yeah, so we'll be able to come out this way. That's going to come down that way, which then means we just have to do something about getting ourselves up. Which I kind of like the idea of, because then that means the base is off the ground. So normally what would happen is you'll walk in. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Kind of liking that a lot, actually. Now, there's no guarantee that, you know, or no, this isn't necessarily where it's going to be. I'm just trying to figure out how are we going to do our spacing. So that gets you up to here. And then we do like that. If we go here, maybe go up a level. We'll figure it out. Okay. Definitely have to put a little bit of thought into how we want this whole thing to work out. So this gives us our assemblers, this gives us refineries. We'll need a power generation system and storage system, which I am thinking will go in here. How do I want to do the batteries? It doesn't really matter because we're probably not gonna see them. gives us 4, 6, 8, 10. Definitely will give us enough power, hopefully. I mean, I'm almost tempted to drop these down somewhere. Maybe even drop them down under the batteries. That could be interesting. So, so that's going to be there. So we go... Not... We're going to have one of these. Just getting an idea of how we're going to do spacing on this thing. Here we go. Everyone knows by now that I don't like having giant flat spaces, so this will get reworked up here. But it's just giving me an idea of what the base itself is, what kind of footprint we're looking for on this thing. So if we go this maybe. That would tie it in. See, that would tie it in nicely. That could work. That could work. And it's already turning into a multi-level base, which would be nice. And since we'll have, hopefully... maybe. This might work. Not quite sure how I want to do this shot. It's very possible that when we come back next time, I will have reworked this entire thing into something completely different. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, finish welding up this stuff, getting this other landing pad done off camera, and I'll probably sit down and design out this base a little bit better, this whole portable base. But I like the idea of what we did with the cargo pods, where we have something that you basically have, that you have a lifter that picks it up, takes it where you need it, and drops it off. And then we can leave the lifter in orbit, so that when we're ready to leave, we basically convert the base back into a ship. Or even just leave it as a ship the entire time. Because it's going to be docked on the... basically it's going to be landed on the planet. Yeah, I'm thinking that's... Sorry, hiccups. But I think that's what we're going to do with it. Man, I got a bad case of hiccups. Whew. Sorry about that. Alright, let's go ahead and get the rest of this stuff in. But I do think that's where we're going to go ahead and call it for today. I want to thank you for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't done so already or are just new to the channel, if you really enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to be kept up to date when new videos come out, be sure to ring the bell as well. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you are around this weekend, I will see you there. If not, then I hope you enjoy your weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Alright. Get a few more of these in. I'll go grab some plates, drop some stuff off, weld this stuff up, get this stuff over here welded. Oh, so much to do. That's going to be a long weekend.